Hey everybody, thanks for stopping out. I appreciate it. I wanted to give everyone a little bit of an update on how everything is going with all my tanks downstairs with my baby fish fry operation, as well as giving you an update about how everything is going upstairs on my main display tanks. So, without further ado, let's get sophisticated. Well, I'm happy to report that on my 75 gallon, all my fish are living a fantastic life. They're happy, healthy, and of course thriving. Even Happy over here is growing like expected and coloring up nicely. My giraffe cichlids are actually getting a lot bigger too, which is expected and nice to see. Lizzie over here, the orange Dragonblood, she is actually holding. We've noticed that she quit eating for a couple days, so in a couple weeks here I'll probably put her in her own tank and go from there. Now behind my OG OB is some sponge filters I put on my intake tubes of my FX4, so that should help lengthen my maintenance on my FX4. An update on my 46 gallon, my albino pleco is growing quite quickly, but I feel like he's getting a little bit territorial as he's growing because I'm missing an albino Cory right now, and I have one of two. And also I've trimmed down that plant there to let the other leaves that are growing now to get taller. And the mollies, of course, they're thriving and growing and doing well, and of course having babies like there's no tomorrow. Now these two Corys are my original Corys that I've had since the beginning when I started this hobby, so these are still live and doing well. Of course, the rummy nose tetras, they're swimming around like crazy like they always do. They look really neat in the group, so I've been really happy with buying them and seeing them swim around. And the Rasporas there, they're always in a group too. They can be somewhat skittish, but they're doing well, along with that fancy tail zebra Danio. They've all been living life to the fullest. Hopefully this plant will keep growing now that I've trimmed it up. So that's the goal. And there's my one albino Cory that I told you about. So hopefully he'll survive. Not much to update here on my Frontosa, blue Dolphin, and yellow lab. Other than the fact that everyone's growing. Of course the Frontosa, they're slow growing, but they're all still doing well. And I can't complain too much because no deaths, everyone's living, getting along, and doing just great. I actually took one of the yellow labs out because she's holding, which you'll see here later on in the video that I'll get to. And onward to my main 55 gallon with all the live rock in it. Nothing fake or anything like that. It's been really neat to set this one up, but everyone's doing well. There's the male and female ACI yellowtail. The one actually just recently had babies and I put him back in here and she's still doing well. But as far as everything else goes, everything's been working out just fine. And even that one Nimbuna that I got is starting to grow. That one lab ends up being almost white. It's been kind of really neat to see him grow. That golden Aratus male Nimbuna, He's the only one in there because every time I try to add more of those in there, he just runs after him. But by himself, he's okay. And there's the female that's all healed up from having the babies, and she's doing fine as well. But everything's working out great. My lemon jake here, I've been trying to heal up his Popeye, and as you can tell here, he's also got some little bit of body malfunction. But he's still eating. I might have to change his diet up a little bit. I've been keeping up with water changes and using medication, so I'm hoping that he'll last and he won't die off. These were the ACI yellowtail babies I was talking about earlier. They're probably only a few weeks old, but I'm excited to see these things grow. This golden Nimbuna male Acis, I actually saved him from getting Malawi bloat, and he's actually pretty healthy, so I'm hoping to move him into a tank to where he'll be able to get along with everybody. And here's that yellow lab I was telling you guys about earlier that I took out of my Frontosa tank, and you can see as I zoom in here that she's definitely holding, and she's been holding for about a couple weeks now, so I'm sure she'll release the babies here very soon. And I've never had yellow lab babies, so this is going to be exciting. These blue striped Candyeye cichlids I've had for probably about 4 months or so, give or take, but they're about 2.5 inches long, and I've been really happy how these guys have turned out, and no deaths, so I'm really happy about that. And moving along to the middle 20-gallon tank, the golden Acis or golden Nimbunas. They've been thriving, and these things just go nuts during feeding time. So it's been fun to see these guys grow up. They're about an inch and a half long. And here's more of the Candyeye, and they're about an inch and a half long too, so they're the younger crowd. But they still are thriving, and they're doing quite well in this tank. And here's one of the full-grown Candyeyes, and he's a male, and he just loves to dig in the sand. I have him in a tank by himself because he was not getting along with the others in the 55 upstairs. But something that's interesting, if you guys didn't know, that these Candyeye, the male turned this yellow color, whereas the female, they stayed at that blue color. But he's definitely claimed this tank for himself, as you can see from him digging all these holes. So hopefully we can find him in a tank to where he'll get along with everybody. Now these Acis, these are probably the oldest ones of the bunch. And they're about like the other Candyeye, about 2.5 inches long. That's why I have them in this 40-gallon breeder tank. But these guys go nuts just like the others during feeding time. And here's some more Candyeye, as well as the yellowtail ACIs that are starting to get their yellowtails now. And they're about a couple inches long. But it's been exciting to see these guys grow up as well. There's just a few of these in here because I saved them that was originally in the 55-gallon instead of taking them in their separate tank. So that's why there's only just a few. So it's exciting to see them grow. Now there's about 30 plus of these Dragonblood Peacocks, and they are actually going to be the most exciting fish for me to raise up, because the males that get to a burnt red color and get really nice coloration, whereas the females, like you saw earlier, With Elizabeth, they stay that little orange color. But these things, I can't wait for them to grow up. This is a red zebra Nimbuna. I've had a really hard time getting rid of this fish just because of the blue tint, the bright orange color, real neat spots it has on it. It's been really nice to see this thing grow to full size, but due to the aggressive nature it has, I might have to buy some bigger fish for it in a different tank setup in order to mitigate that aggression, and we'll see what happens. Here's the excitement of the bunch. And as you can see, these mollies, they just produce like rabbits, but they're a lot of fun to watch at this age because they'll just follow your hand around because they think they're going to get fed 24/7. But they're so active and they've been so much fun to keep around, but I will have to eventually part ways with it in the future. And that's it. That is all my updates between my main show tanks upstairs and my fish fry operation downstairs, and all the extras that I have along with it. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this update and kind of visual of everything that I've been doing. Appreciate you guys stopping by, and have a good one.